Welcome back. We're once again going back into the book of Jubilees. We're going to do chapter 17, and once again it'll read from the Ethiopian Bible in English. Chapter 17 from the book of Jubilees. In the first year of the 6th week of this Jubilee, Abraham summoned his son Ishmael and instructed him concerning the commandments and ways of the Lord, so that he might remain faithful and not turn aside from God's path. He recounted to him the judgment that had fallen upon the giants and the people of Sodom, how they had been condemned for their wickedness and destroyed because of their evil deeds. He warned him about the idols of his father and taught him not to pursue or bow down to them, for they are empty and meaningless. He also reminded him of the flood and its judgment, explaining how the entire earth had been destroyed because of it, so that Ishmael might seek the Lord's favor and avoid following the ways of wickedness. Abraham was deeply concerned for his son, fearing that he might wander into the path of error. When Abraham was 99 years old during the 4th month of that year, in its middle days, the Lord appeared to him and called, "Abraham." And Abraham replied, "Here I am." The Lord said, "Take your beloved son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the highland. Offer him as a sacrifice on one of the mountains that I will show you." Early the following morning, Abraham saddled his donkey, took 2 of his young men along with Isaac, split the wood for the burnt offering, and set out for the place. On the 3rd day they arrived. Lifting his eyes, he saw the place from a distance. Upon reaching a well of water, he told his young men, "Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there to worship. We will return to you afterward." Abraham laid the wood for the burnt offering upon Isaac, while he himself carried the fire and the knife, and together they continued on their way. Isaac spoke to his father, saying, "My father." Abraham answered, "Here I am, my son." Isaac said, "We have the fire, the knife, and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering, Father?" Abraham replied, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." When they reached the mountain of the Lord, Abraham built an altar, arranged the wood, bound his son Isaac, laid him upon the wood, and stretched out his hand to take the knife and slay his son. I stood before him together with the prince Ch.17, and the Lord said, "Tell him not to harm the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that he fears the Lord." I called to him from heaven and said, "Abraham, Abraham." He was afraid and answered, "Here I am." I said, "Do not lay your hand on the boy or harm him, for now I know that you fear God and have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." The Lord provided a ram caught by its horns in a thicket, and Abraham took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering in place of his son. Abraham named that place, "The Lord has seen," and it is still said to this day on the mountain, "The Lord has seen." The Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this and have not withheld your beloved son, I will certainly bless you and multiply your descendants like the stars of heaven and the sand on the seashore. Your offspring will possess the cities of their enemies, and through your seed all nations of the earth will be blessed, because you obeyed my voice." I rejoiced and praised the Lord for the word he had spoken, and he blessed Abraham and declared him blessed forever. Chapter 17 revisits one of the most iconic and challenging episodes in all of Scriptures, the binding of Isaac, yet Jubilees adds layers of spiritual depth, moral instruction, and divine commentary that transforms the narrative from a mere test into a comprehensive revelation of Abraham's heart and God's intention. The chapter begins with Abraham instructing Ishmael. It's a quiet, almost private scene about the chapter begins with Abraham instructing Ishmael. It's a quiet, almost private scene. Abraham warns him of past judgment, the giants, Sodom, the flood, and urges him to walk in the ways of the Lord. His fear is tender. He does not command Ishmael with anger, but pleads with him as a father concerned for his son's future. It is important that this comes just before the test with Isaac. Jubilees presents Abraham not just as a father of faith, but as a man shaped by memory and responsibility. Then the command comes. God tells Abraham to offer Isaac. The shock is present, but so is the obedience. Abraham rises early, prepares silently, and walks for 3 days. This is not theatrical drama, it is inward surrender. The conversation with Isaac is brief, piercing. Where is the lamb? God will provide. In those words, faith and heartbreak are inseparable. What Jubilees adds is celestial context. The angel intervenes, but not only as a messenger. It is said that he stands also before Messiah, the accuser. This implies that the test is not random but contested. Abraham's loyalty is being challenged in the courts of heaven, and when he passes, God does not simply bless him. He swears by himself, elevating the promise to its highest level. The ram is provided, Isaac is spared, but the lesson is not sacrifice, it is trust. The true cost of covenant is not the life of the child, but the will of the father surrendered fully to God. Chapter 17 reminds us that faith is never abstract. It demands real choices, real tension, real loss, and yet in the hands of God, it's bursts blessings that ripple through generations. This was chapter 17 from the book of Jubilees, once again read from the Ethiopian Bible in English. Once again, this was chapter 17 from the book of Jubilees.